Hello, welcome to section 4 of our course, Object Identity in Java. In this section, we will be talking about identity vs equality, value objects, and implementing hash code and equals. This video is about identity vs equality. In this video, we will talk about the double equal operator applied to objects, as well as the equals method. Let's get started. In Java, the double equal operator is the identity operator. In Java, access to objects is done through references, and two references are equal according to the double equal operator or identical when referencing the same object. They then have the same identity or are identical. Consider reference 1 and reference 2 pointing respectively to object 1 and object 2. Regardless of the type of object 1 and 2, and regardless of the state of those objects, reference 1 will never be identical or equal according to the double equal operator because they are pointing to different objects. The only way for those two references to be identical is if they were pointing to the same object. Let's consider a piece of code to illustrate what we just have said. Consider class A. It declares two instance variables, one of type int, myInt, and one of type string, myString. It also declares a constructor that initializes the value of myInt. If we create two objects of class A, to which we point to with A1 and A2, we can test the behavior of our double equal operator. Please note that the two objects we have created have the same state. They are both created with the value 5. If we run our code, we realize that A1 is not identical to A2. Why? Simply because A1 is pointing to another object than A2. These objects have the same state, yes, but they are still different objects in memory. A3 is identical to A2 simply because the A3 reference is a copy of the A2 reference and therefore points to the same object in memory. This is the behavior of the double equal operator or the identity operator in Java. Let's talk about the equals method. The equals method in Java is inherited from the object class. As you know, the object class is parent to all classes in Java and is intended for developers to override and define a meaningful equality. Should the developer not override equals, it will behave like the double equal operator. When a class does not override the equals method, it behaves like the double equal operator. Let's consider an example to illustrate what we just have said. Class A does not implement or override, to be more precise, the equals method. It therefore inherits the implementation of equals from the object class. Let's consider the behavior of the equals method. As you can see, A1 is not equals to A2, and A3 is equals to A2. The equals method, if not overridden, behaves like the double equal operator. Should class A provide another implementation for equals? Should class A override the implementation it has received from the object class? It is allowed then to create a meaningful equality. An equality that is based, for example, on the value of the instance variable myInt. If we rerun the same code, we can see that the behavior of equals has changed. It is now based on a meaningful equality defined by the developer. Since our two objects have the same value for the int instance variable, a1 is equals to a2, and for the same reason, a3 is equals to a2, simply because they point to the same object. In this video, we have talked about identity vs equality in Java. We introduced and illustrated the behavior of the double equal operator. We introduced and illustrated the behavior and the utility of the equals method.